Let's talk about Auburn. The good folks at Auburn Live, man, I'll tell you right now, get a membership over there. Jeffrey Lee, Justin Hokanson, Cole Pinkston, the entire team over there is crushing the coverage. Get dialed in if you're an Auburn fan. That's the place to stay with every single thing from spring practice to what's going on within, the sports world there on the basketball side of things. For spring football, get dialed in, Auburn Live. You won't be sorry. The overwhelming buzz from spring practice to this point is Cam Coleman just looks different. Just looks different. He's a 5-star plus kind of player. We talked about him a lot here during the recruiting cycle on National Signing Day. 6'3", 190 pounds. And when I say he looks different, not just he looks different for a freshman receiver. Like, you look at that wide receiver group and he sticks out like a sore thumb as a true freshman. The thought behind Auburn Live and behind pretty much every Auburn circle is that this guy is going to play as a true freshman. How quickly he's able to impact the game and the kind of efficacy he's going to have long-term at Auburn is going to be tremendous. But what he looks like as a true freshman will come down to how quickly he can get a hold of the playbook and just the things that you would expect any true freshman football player to have to acclimate to. And oh, by the way, he just arrived at college, so he's probably still figuring out where class is and where everything else is. So Cam Coleman, expectations are sky high, but he has earned those expectations by nature of what he did at the high school level and what he's doing right now very, very early on in spring practice. Also, Payton Thorne. He's been a topic of conversation for us on this show. You know that we have our own question marks around Payton Thorne. I'm interested to see how he looks during that spring game. I think we'll learn a lot about how comfortable he is. But so far, the reports are that he's making the best decisions out of the quarterback group right now. Now, again, it's spring practice, more controlled environment. You don't have 100,000 fans screaming at you on a Saturday afternoon, fourth down, you're going for it. But even with that being said, good news is good news. Okay, so hearing Payton Thorne is taking what the defense gives him right now during spring practice. You got to do it in practice before you do it in a game. So as of right now, hoping to cut down on that 10 interception number that he had a season ago. This is crucial, man. Like, it's no secret. This is not an offense at Auburn under Hugh Freeze where you can hide your quarterback. You can do some things to help him, and I promise you, Jarquez Hunter, Damari Alston, they're going to do some things to help Payton Thorne pound the rock and kind of get those safeties rocking and rolling. But this offense will go as Payton Thorne goes. And the biggest part of this is him making good decisions, okay? So I think last year what you saw from Payton Thorne was a little bit of a cram session for him trying to get acclimated to Auburn. Because remember now, this is his first spring practice. He transferred over from Michigan State a season ago without those important 15 practices. I would argue the most important 15 practices that you get as a college football player, much less your quarterback, because you're installing everything. Everyone's kind of getting up to speed together. He missed all that. He missed the whole takeoff period of the Auburn offense. They just put him in the air and said, "You're a pilot now. Go fly this plane." I'm very interested to see how much spring practice benefits him. All reports are that he's been a vocal leader, and that's good news. What you expect from your quarterback, but that's good news that he's leading from the front. Jamonte Waller, another true freshman cat. He's listed as an edge for them on their roster. A smooth 6'2", 235. The reports are he's one of the twitchiest players on the team. Not one of the twitchiest true freshmen, not one of the twitchiest defensive linemen or edge defenders, like one of the twitchiest players on the team. I don't want to put too much of a label on Jamonte Waller and what he's going to be at Auburn. I'll just say this. You need players with that description to win in the SEC in the trenches. Okay, so far, so good for Jamonte Waller. Again, he's a true freshman, 4-star cat. You're excited about his progress. Last note here, co-DC and safeties coach Charles Kelly. Remember Charles Kelly, who was the DC at Colorado previously. He also was at Alabama, so he knows what good defense looks like. He knows what the standard looks like, having coached under Nick Saban. Sounds like he's keeping that high standard right now. It's only a few practices in. I believe they've had 3 practices so far out there on the plains, but there is a note here on this practice report from the good folks at Auburn Live. Again, get a membership, tons of more intel, tons more notes. This is just a very, very small sample size. He got after his DBs a little bit going through drills. Felt like they weren't going quick enough, felt like they needed a little bit more of a sense of urgency, and apparently he yelled at those guys and said, "Hey, listen, don't be casual. Do not be casual, and anything that we do," is basically the sentiment that he's saying there. So the standard's being kept high. And it's only spring practice. They're not wearing pads. It's hard to take a ton away from the defense at this point in time. But having a defensive coordinator, or a co-DC rather, safeties coach, that is pushing the envelope a little bit, creating that sense of urgency, kind of getting after these guys a little bit, I think that's good news. And I think that's something that you'd like to see if you're an Auburn fan. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.